Hello everybody! Today, I'm going to show you how I turned this thrifted men's shirt into a pajama set with shorts. That's today on Refashioning with Rachel. First, while wearing the shirt, I made a mark at my waist, and I made another mark where I wanted the sleeve to end. Then I drew a straight line at my waist and cut off the bottom part of the shirt and set it aside for later. I drew a straight line where I made the mark on the sleeves and then cut off the sleeves and set them aside for later. I folded the top of the shirt in half, carefully lining up the side seams and the shoulder seams. Then I folded up a shirt that fit me nicely the same way and placed it on top of my thrifted shirt. I traced around the side seams and underarm seams, adding 1 centimeter for seam allowance, and cut along those lines. Then, with right sides together, I pinned along the side seams and sewed them together. I used a serger to finish off all of my raw edges, but a zigzag stitch would have worked just as well. I hemmed the sleeves simply by folding over the raw edge and securing with a stitch. And I did the same thing along the waist. Now moving on to the shorts, I cut the cuffs off of the sleeves and cut them open along the underarm seam. In order for this project to work, the shirt has to be very big. So for reference, I am a size 4 and this shirt was extra large. I grabbed a pair of shorts that fit me well to use as a guide and placed them on top of the sleeves. So first I traced the front pieces of the shorts, adding 1 centimeter to the crotch seam of the shorts and 1 centimeter on the center front and 1 centimeter on the sides of the shorts. And I added 3 inches to the top of the shorts. And also a centimeter to the bottom of the shorts. I used a straight edge to sharpen my lines. And cut these pieces out.
I
labeled them with a little F so that I could tell them apart from the back pieces. I opened up the bottom part of the shirt that I cut off earlier, and this time I traced around the back of the shorts, adding 1 centimeter on the center front, and extending out the crotch to account for the part of the seam that was folded back on itself, plus 1 centimeter for seam allowance. And again, I added 3 inches to the top. And I added 1 centimeter for the sides. I also made sure to make the side seams straight and not taper them at the top. This is so I will be able to pull up the shorts over my hips. I cut out these back pieces. And labeled them with a B. Then, with right sides together, I placed each of the front pieces on top each of the back pieces, lining up the side seams. Then I pinned the side seams and the inseams. And sewed them together. Then I ironed the seams flat. I took one side of the shorts and turned it right side out and placed it inside the other side of the shorts so that right sides were together. Then I pinned along the crotch seam and along the center front and the center back. And then I had this big U shape and I sewed it together. Then I turned it right side out. And made some marks from the top of the shorts at 1/2 inch, and then 1 inch from that mark and 1 inch from that mark, all around the top of the shorts. I folded back the top of the shorts at the first mark that I made and ironed it down. Then I folded down the top of the shorts again at the second mark that I made, which should have then lined up the fold with the third mark, and ironed that down. It probably would have been better to make the marks on the inside of the shorts, but this worked too. Then at the center front of the shorts, I made a couple of buttonholes at either side of the seam And I won't show you how I did that because every sewing machine is different. I used a seam ripper to open up the buttonholes. And then I sewed down the top of the waist, making the stitch close to the fold. From the scrap fabric that I had, I cut out 2 strips of fabric that were 2 inches wide and about 14 inches long, and I folded them in half lengthwise and made a stitch about 1/2 inch or 1.5 centimeters from the folded edge. Then I turned them right side out and tucked in the ends. And stitched the ends closed. And stitched the other ends to a piece of elastic that was 3/4 of my waist size. Then, using a safety pin, I fed this drawstring through one of the buttonholes and all the way through the channel that I made at the top of the shorts. And then out through the other buttonhole. After making sure the drawstring was evenly centered, I stitched the elastic to the center back of the shorts so that the drawstring wouldn't shift around. Then I hemmed the shorts simply by folding over the raw edge twice and securing with a stitch. And then this project was finished. So here's a reminder of how it looked before. And here's how it looks now. Thank you so much for watching this tutorial. I really hope you enjoyed it. Please like and subscribe and comment if you did. And have a beautiful day.